Morning. I did this a while ago. It was a line and wash using black acrylic paint and brushes, but I'm going to do this in just pure watercolour or something like it. It's just, I don't copy, I just do something based on an idea and do my own thing. But since this is my own painting, well, we'll see what happens. Right, I'll come up to the paper and I've got everything ready. Hope you're enjoying the week off of work. Okay, right, let's put that to one side. Right, I can see it. Right, I've got. I might use the large goat hair mop, the number 6, Pro Art Renaissance. So I'll have that in readiness. I'll give my. I'll find it. Give my watercolour tray a spray. I haven't used it for a couple of days. So just to soften the paint. I want quite a bit of soft paint on this. 2-inch hake and Fabriano £130 paper. Save you asking again, I buy this from Arts Discount, Granthams, or you can get it from Curtis Ward in blocks of 100 sheets, 15 inches by 11. It's very good for wet in wet, and it's also relatively cheap. But I enjoy painting on it with the wet in wet. So we'll wet. Now my brush is a bit dirty now, unbelievably. I've just changed my water. And I usually wash the bottom with the brush. That's just a little bit too wet now. So we can always use the hairdryer. Okay. So we'll put it, we want quite a soft sky on this one. So I'll just put in some raw sienna over the whole picture, just to give it a bit of a warm. And I'll use a bit of yellow and a bit of raw sienna in the base here, I think. Okay, so I've got the basic colour in. Now we're going to put in some blue. And we'll have a bit of alizarin, not alizarin, sorry, yes, alizarin with a bit of Payne's grey. Okay, that'll do, that's a sky. And I'll dry that off now. So mute your microphones, or your sound anyway. Right, now the fun begins. So you saw how quickly I did the sky. Do it while it's wet, and you don't have to dry it, you can leave it dry. if your board is more on the level than mine, you won't need to do the drying so much. The whole thing drops down, as you can see, but you can exploit that by tilting the board so that your cloud, the wet in the cloud, will run down and give an impression of rain. But I don't particularly want rain. But because of the way I've got my camera configured, I can't really lay this down any too flat, because it would be difficult to film it with my little Canon camcorder. Right, okay, so we'll put in some background. I'm going to use my mop, so give it a bit of a wet, get it nice and damp. So a bit of alizarin and a bit of ultramarine. This is just some background trees in the distance, so I'm going to paint over a lot of this. This is just to give an illusion of distance. But since I'm going, as I say, I'm going to paint over a lot of it. Different. Leave some air in this, and I will put in later some heavier trees, and I'll put heavier blues behind to give an impression of the bushes, the trees being three-dimensional by using colour. Right, I'll put that to one side, put it under there. Okay, so let's do some landscape now. I'm going to put a figure in there at some stage, but I want plenty of burnt sienna. I want quite a warm picture. So I will use different colours when you do this. Now we've got a path going in here, so now let's get some sienna in there. Right, that'll be the basis of a path. We can elaborate on that later. It's fine, let's get some nice dark, thick paint. That's why I wet it. I can hear my wrists grinding. When that dries, I can do more of that. Okay, that's the basis, and let's put in some lemon yellow in that, I think. But don't overwork your painting, because it will go very muddy quite quickly. So no, I should leave that. Okay, we'll do the same on the other side. Bit of this, bit of that. No, I'm just not doing very much here. I'm just adding colour, and when it dries, I can dry brush over it. But I'm going to let this dry first before I finish it off, because I want to go into that background. As you come forward, don't forget you've got warm colours. I can put bushes, all sorts in that. Don't leave too much sparkle, because it'll look a bit too bitty, but that'll be about right. Okay, so we'll do some trees now. I'm going to use my mop, dry my hake. That's all nicely sort of dry. Okay, so we'll put in some darker blue and red, blue and alizarin. Need some water on the brush. This is to strengthen up the behind the bushes. Oops, let's just get my picture back. Nice and thick. Okay, I can go over that now with the heavier, warmer, wintry sort of green. Oh no, I wasn't ready for that. Okay, I'm going to put in a fence now before I forget, and I'm going to use my inch brush flat, give it a good wet. I use this for acrylic as well sometimes, so be careful if you're using these flats, acrylic flat brushes, to make sure they're really clean, otherwise they'll start to accumulate paint down here and it will start to split your brush and then you'll have to buy another one. Right, so a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey. So let's Alright, this will remind me that there's a fence there. So let's just put in that. Okay, that'll do. That's just an aid memoir really. Okay, so now we're going to go with a heavier bit of blue, bit of this. I want that blue to show through. And I can put in some nice branches and trunks and things in there. I want this much darker in there, but I use the hake for that. But I just wanted to get this shape of tree, so we'll have a smaller one here. So this is exercise in painting trees as much as anything else. So let's just get some nice warm in there. Just a little bit too thick in there. Okay, right, I'll give the brush a good clean because I'm probably not going to use it now. And I'm going to go, I want a texture in here now. I'll just give it a bit of a dry because I don't want it to soak into the paper. Okay, if I work from left to right, that should be okay. So we get some nice bit of green. So I'm using, I don't use a lot of, as you know, I don't use a lot of burnt umber in this. A lot of sienna, burnt sienna, and Payne's grey, and lemon yellow of course, but I want it thick. Etchings from trunks. I'm going to leave that fairly unpainted there, otherwise my little man, when I put him in, won't show. Nice warm colours, warm darks, Payne's grey, burnt sienna, a lot of burnt sienna, love burnt sienna. let's do a bit in the foreground now. Right, I'm just scraping over the dry surface now. It's not a very rough paper at all. In fact, it's fairly smooth. But we'll put in just a bit of texture here and there. Bushes. Touch the brush in the water just to get a bit of lubrication going. All just adds just little bits of interest. I'll do a bit of rigor work in that as well. Let's get this path. Okay. Get that shadow down. Right, okay, let's we'll start to, I'll dry it off and we'll use a rigger now with my number 3 rigger, which is here. I'll just dry it off, so mute. Now if you can overdo it, this is when you're going to overdo it using the rigger. My darks mainly burnt sienna and Payne's grey, but you need a bit of water in the thickness, otherwise it won't stick. That's not going to take any scraping because it's too wet, I forgot. In the melee. Okay, right now we use the ultramarine and burnt sienna for just mixing with that general mix there. Okay, so let's just adding some dark bits to complement the light bits I scraped out earlier. Okay. Give it a little bit of red in with that. Got a bit thick there, look at that. Bit of ivy. Right, we'll leave some bits for the imagination. Okay, little figure. figure with the rigger. Burnt sienna's a nice colour, but no. Let's just. The figure and the gates give scale to the whole. Doggy. All adds a bit of shadow. Okay, that's all I'm going to do really, just put a couple of birds in. No portraits. I don't think it's as good as the line and wash, because the thing with line and wash is it gives that contrast between the black and the white to start with. So we'll put it in the mount. We've taken our Christmas decorations down. Right, well there we are. So I'll sign it. I'll find my little signing brush. Find my paint. Always sign your work, even if you don't think it's very good. Right, okay, I'll just bring that up a bit. Ooh, hold on. And then we'll alter the camera. I hope your man shows up. Oops. Wind you down instead of winding you up. So there we are, another walk in the Surrey Hills. I call them all Surrey Hills. We're not that far from them. My daughter lives in a beautiful bit of in a country town called Dorking, which is very lovely. Looking out over Ranelagh Common, in the heart of the Surrey Hills, Gomshall, Shear, Friday Street. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely manicured countryside. Right, well there we are. Thanks for watching. I might do one later and I might do one in the morning, but we'll see how things go. See you soon. Bye bye.